Hey, this is Derek Cafe. I'm principal at Cold Black Properties. We're a full-service real estate investment firm, meaning we help you to buy and sell real estate, help you with construction and renovations, and also do property management. Today I want to talk about the difference between buying a regular personal home and investment property. Is there a difference between buying a personal home and buying property for investment? Absolutely. That's why there's this video. When you're buying a personal home, you're going to look at how far is it from work, how far is it from potential friends, how far is it from places that you like to be. You're going to be thinking about your lifestyle. If you have kids, you're going to be thinking about school districts. You're going to be thinking about features that are very important to you, such as you might say, hey, I really want a pool because Atlanta has been going through a number of 100-degree days. So, a pool is very important to me. Or a big backyard because I have a dog and I want that dog to be able to run around. Things like that. That's the things you'll be thinking about. Hardwood floors, other things of that nature when you're thinking about personal home. Investment property, though, is different. When you're looking at investment property, what you're looking for the most part is the numbers. Should you be saying anything about the school district? No. For the most part, you're looking at the numbers, and then things like school district can be a bonus on top of the numbers, but the school district, how far it is from work, and one of the big things I'll say is, would I live here? That's one thing I hear people say, well, I wouldn't live here. It's not about you. It's not about you, Rebecca. It's about our tenant who we're trying to get in place. And so I'm trying to tell people that when you're searching for investment properties, it's just a completely different mindset. A lot of times, the more ritzier areas of the metro, you're not going to be going there looking for investment properties. So if you live in an area well known for a really nice neighborhood and everybody wants to stay there, most likely that's not where you're going to be looking for your investment properties. It's a numbers game. So the thing is, if it's a nice area, that means it has a premium on it. And that premium is basically going to be your cash flow. First of all, let's talk about investing in real estate. Two of the big things that you're going to be looking for. One can be appreciation. Over time, the value of the house goes up, and it basically becomes a source of wealth for you, the investor. Two, and a big thing for people, is the cash flow. That is the difference in the rent and any expenses that are going to come up. Cash flow and appreciation are going to be your two big things. So with that, you're looking for the numbers. So when we're looking for value add opportunities. And a value add opportunity is the opportunity to add value to a property, which can increase the rent, or it could increase the appreciation on the property, which is called forced appreciation. Those are things you're going to be looking for. But once again, if you're looking in the ritzier areas, I'm not saying that you can't find rental opportunities in ritzier areas. I'm just going to say it is going to be much harder, especially in this environment. So with that environment that we're dealing with, it is very hard to cash flow for many investors. So when we're looking at this, like I said, we're not looking at properties that you necessarily want to live in yourself. We're looking at these numbers. The numbers don't lie. So typically, you're not going to be looking at properties in $500,000 unless you can get rents to support that. Typically, these are going to be, we're looking at the houses at the lower end. And if you are a newer investor, first of all, I feel conflicted because when I started, I bought my first duplex, which was a house hack in 2015. Bought my duplex for $110,000. A retired military veteran, so I did 0% down. My mortgage was $651 and some change with taxes, insurance, and all that stuff. And my tenant paid $650. So with my first property, I wound up in a situation where I only had to like $1.50 something from what the difference was in what my tenant paid and what I still owed on my mortgage. And recently, I sold a duplex. Well, not the duplex I just mentioned, but I sold one of my duplexes. And I bought it for $61,000 and I sold it for $290,000. Now, that person, I believe, has about the difference between what the tenant was paying and what they'll still have to pay is just around 1,000 approximately. So that was a big difference when I had to pay like $1 and some change to cover the mortgage, and this person will have to pay roughly $1,000 on their first investment property. So I definitely feel for new investors or people who were me back in 2015 getting started. But there are opportunities, and the main thing is just kind of getting your mindset around what the investment properties look like and what you'll have to do to get there, because it's just mentality when you're looking at HGTV and you're looking at like, oh my God, I want this and I want that and I want, I want this, and you're thinking about your wants. This is an investment, and you have to kind of move out of that mindset. You have to move to a mindset where you're thinking about just straight numbers. And I'm not saying you could only think about numbers, because even when I bought my property, I wasn't looking for a place that was a war zone. I didn't want to live in a place where I feared for my life. I didn't want to live in a place where I just didn't feel safe or things of that nature. But there's lots of good blue collar neighborhoods that, depending on your pedigree, because I get people with high incomes, and they're coming at it from a perspective of, I live in this neighborhood that has a reputation for this, and I love to own investment property in this area. And I'm like, no. We're going to some different neighborhoods. We're going to some neighborhoods where the numbers will work, not these areas where you have this premium on the real estate. So that's a mindset shift that a lot of people have to engage in, and it takes different people different amounts. So sometimes it's a thing of just running the numbers and them seeing like, oh man, I'm about to lose $100 every single month if I buy this property. Now the neighborhood's a great neighborhood, but I'm gonna lose money. So is it a great investment to you if you could lose, $100 a month without repairs, might I add? This is without repairs, because on the duplex that I sold, I had to replace the HVAC in one of the units. I got a quote for $8,000. Thankfully, I'm a contractor myself, so I was able to finagle some things. So I paid around like $4,000 and something for the materials and the labor, rather than the $8,000 that I was quoted. And those are just, certain advantages that you gain over time. It all comes with experience. But with your first property nowadays, you just need to come into it with the right mindset and just focus on the numbers and go where the numbers are and not go where the hype is. So that's what I would say. I'm pretty sure I forgot some things, because there's so much that you really need to consider when purchasing an investment property. But the number one thing is, does it work from a cash flow perspective, and what's the trajectory of the area? Where you're going to go as far as appreciation. And those are the two main things. If that first cash flow works out, then a lot of time you can do some research to kind of see overall where the general area is going. And as long as it's not a war zone and you don't feel unsafe in the area and those numbers work, go for it. But it's probably not going to have that zip code you want to be in, or maybe it could be. But different strokes, different folks, different ideas around what makes a good investment property. Once again, my name is Derek Cafe. I'm the principal at Cold Black Properties. Hit me up if you're looking for investment properties in the Atlanta Metro. I'd love to speak to you. Until next time.